the bull case for NIO. But before we get into that, take a look at this video and then we'll get into the meat of today's topic.
A bit of fear, director level, manager level. Now they touch, feel, see these cars and they're like, wow, we are in trouble.
Elon Musk met top officials and was quoted by Chinese press as saying he was fully confident in the Chinese market.
Elon had stated a goal of selling 20 million vehicles by 2030 for Tesla. A large part of that linchpin strategy is to sell into the China market because it's the largest market in the world. Again, more context. About 22 million cars were sold in China in 2022, about 11 in Europe, and 13.5 million in the United States. And so if Tesla was to get 20% market share in the China market, they'd be at over 4 million units. That gets them well on their way to that 20 million number.
With all that talk of de-risking, China's EV sales demonstrate that there are some products where made in China is still indispensable.
NIO, XPeng, and Li Auto, these EV companies were set up around 2014 and 2015, and they were struggling, right? Wasn't it just in 2020 that NIO nearly went bankrupt? So how did these Chinese EV companies manage to turn around their fortunes so fast?
Pearl, you raised a great point. In 2009, the Chinese government decided that they were going to focus on the battery sector and the EV sector. And so NIO's particular story is interesting because they really leaned into design, customer engagement, and premium in the early years. And that almost pushed them into bankruptcy if it wasn't for the Hefei government. And so the Hefei government wrote them a couple $2 billion check, and they've been able to kind of weather that storm. Now they have 6-7 products in the market. You come to Shanghai Auto Show and you see all of the traffic at the Chinese automakers booths. I was at the Audi booth, and one of my favorite beautiful cars, the e-tron, the RS e-tron. And it took me less than 10 seconds to wait for somebody, and then I got in it myself. And then you go over to Zeekr, and they have just launched a Zeekr X, which is a small little car that I think is going to be less than 300,000 RMB or less than $40,000 in the China market. I waited 10 minutes for this little car because there were so many people that wanted to see it. And so the management of these European automakers also saw this, and then in disbelief, they got into the vehicles themselves. They closed the door. They heard the sound, that matches what they're traditionally able to do, and then looked at the technology on the instrument panel and the infotainment system, and jaws were dropped. I think there's a lot of disbelief, a lot of shock, but a bit of fear. Director level, manager level. Now they touch, feel, see these cars and they're like, wow, we are in trouble.
China accounted for just 4.2% of global EV exports 6 years ago. By 2022, it became 35%. Japan, by contrast, was the largest exporter of EVs in 2018, with a 24.5% share. In 2022, its share plummeted to 9.3%.
My first job was at a factory in Michigan, Orion Assembly Plant, and we built 5 cars, 3 different trims, so effectively 18 different cars every day, about 500,000 cars a year. And so I was grounded in the quality, reliability, how things sounded, how things should fit together. When I first landed in Beijing in 2009, I got into a BYD and it was not great. It was pretty bad. The doors were paper thin. You could hear everything. The fit and finish of the interiors weren't great. I was in Shanghai in April and visited BYD. The difference between 2009 and today is night and day.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, The Wealthy Mindset. It's yours truly, Money Making Mitch. And as usual guys, this is not financial advice. Please do your own due diligence and research. So I hope you found that little clip entertaining. So the bull case for buying NIO now while it's low, while the Tatavosian Animal and the others are telling you buy when it goes up. NIO stock could be next in line for mega investors to start looking into as potential value play. Analysts are already behind it, pointing to a higher valuation ahead, and it makes all the sense in the world. Here is what to watch out for this week as earnings are announced. Today's market avoids Chinese stocks because the nation is uninvestable. Quote, however, those who know where to look and what to look for may find some unbelievable value plays. Scattered across Asia's powerhouse, there are still several tailwinds to be digested by markets. However, they are all building a potentially bullish case for China. Not all Chinese stocks are created equal. For example, plenty of industries like construction and energy stocks will likely remain in the dark due to a lack of excitement. And remember, here in the West, our media uses the construction industry over there as to why you should not invest in China, even though our own construction industry here in America has slowed down to almost a halt. Even though here in America, the housing market has come to an almost halt, but they don't talk about that, you see. Other sectors like consumer discretionary stocks led by names like Alibaba could quickly become more popular among foreign investors. Today, the focus is on the electric vehicle space as a play for a consumer turnaround. And some people say that the EV sector is slowing down. Yes, it's slowing down in America, but not for the rest of the world. These fools regurgitate what the media tells them. And yet, Chinese EVs are selling more than ever before. Critical thinking, or the lack thereof, I'll let you all decide. Leading the pack in that space, made famous by Warren Buffett when he bought it nearly 2 decades ago, is BYD. But that stock already had most of its run. It's time for small cap NEO to be recognized for its explosive growth potential in this quickly growing pocket of China's economy. Before you get ahead of the pack, here's why you should start looking into China. Not every investor sees China the same. However, some of the biggest players on Wall Street have looked at the nation's stock as potential pockets of value. Let me say that again. Some of the biggest players on Wall Street have looked to the nation's stock as potential pockets of value to be squeezed in this upcoming cycle. Whether due to insight or coincidence, these fund managers are riding the tailwind of the government itself. So while they are telling you don't buy, this is what they're doing. So, in its latest round of stimulus for the nation's lackluster economic activity, the Chinese government is injecting up to $278 billion US dollars, $278 billion US dollars in new liquidity and funds in the different asset classes offered to the public. One of the main objectives of the stimulus is to trickle down benefits to the consumer level in an attempt to heat up inflation back to healthy levels, but they did not stop there. And please forgive me if this video is a little long. It's not for people with short attention span. The big firms are not allowed to short sell stocks in China anymore. Why is that so important? You see, here in the West, we decide we'll make money by any means, even if it's destroying a company. China says, no, that's not the way. So, further, some names have been slapped with a selling restrictions. A playbook that acts as a floor for stability for the Chinese markets. Michael Burry, Ray Dalio, listen to the names I'm calling. Michael Burry, Ray Dalio, and other fund managers took notice and couldn't look away. By buying into names like Alibaba, investor Michael Burry, yes, the one who called the 2008 financial crisis, is expressing his bullish and optimistic outlook for the future of the company and the nation as well. And he's not alone. Ray Dalio, the manager of the world's largest hedge fund, he retired last year, Bridgewater and Associates, has been quietly buying into the iShares MSCI China ETF. On Nasdaq, it's MCHI. Since the third quarter of 2023, while these more oversized pockets are forced to go with the bigger recognizable names, you can focus on smaller ones that offer much more upside, such as NIO. Why NIO? Starting with analyst outlooks, this stock proposes 40% growth in its EPS for the next 12 months and a net upside of 112% according to the analyst price target of $12.03 a share. However, this is the consensus. Some think it could go much higher than that. I'm one of them. How about a heck of a lot higher? How about a heck of a lot higher? Analysts at Citigroup think this stock is worth $19.20 a share, which calls for an upside of 232% from where the stock trades today. Now, that's something to write home about, isn't it? So what could be causing these analysts to suddenly be so bullish about this EV stock? Well, China has landed some preferential treatment from Chile's largest lithium miner and reserve holder, Sociedad Química y Minería de Chile. I hope I said that right. Ticker symbol SQM. While the main agreement has been with BYD, the benefits will likely trickle down to the rest of the industry peers. According to management, NIO delivered up to 8,132 vehicles in February alone and a total of 467,781 year to date. And this is premium vehicles. So you see, some people come on my channel and put comments even on Facebook that Tesla outsold NIO in China. Of course they did. They are selling cheap junk filth that will be obsolete in 8 years, that will be worth $0. NIO is selling high end, so you have to show how much did NIO sell compared to Audi and Mercedes. Then they shut their mouth when I say that. They shut their mouth and they poop in their pants. So the stock trades at only 1.6 times price to sales multiple. So it can be considered a bargain next to the competitors like XPeng, who trade at a higher multiple even though we outsold them in the last 2 months. But again, the rhetoric is faced towards us. Notice that JP Morgan did not come out and bash XPeng, knowing fully well that they cannot compete against us when we come out with our sub-brands, when we come out and continue to build out our battery swap stations, generating revenue not only from battery swaps but from energy and so much more. They know that. So what we need to do is, as they continue to spread rhetoric and beat us down, we continue to buy. I know that's what I'm doing, and most of my subscribers are doing the same because we have the vision to see where it's going. We're not part of the instant gratification welfare culture. So, should you invest, before you consider BYD, you'll want to hear this. MarketBeat tracks Wall Street top-rated best performing research. And what they're saying is, NIO is the value play right now, not BYD. BYD is a giant, don't get me wrong. And they are making very nice EVs, but we are the leader. And the bottom line, it's always going to come back to this. Some of the trolls, the shorts, the uneducated investors will come out and say, but when they continue to be able to have technology that charges the battery faster and faster, battery swapping will be obsolete. It's a shame. Shame, 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 shame. So, the faster you charge a battery, the faster you cause battery degradation. Also, our battery swapping stations not only charges the battery, but it checks the health of the battery. Also, I'll say it one more time again. You never have to worry about a bad battery, and your EV keeps the value. Whereas a Tesla Model 3 is worth this much. Boing, boing, after 8 years. Zero hero. I hope you guys found this video informational for this Tuesday morning and prepare you for the earnings call no matter what happened. If it falls, Money Making Mitch keeps buying. That's why my average on the Charles Schwab platform is $3.53. While the sheeps were pooping their pants the last time, when NEO was rightfully falling for a good reason, I kept buying anyway. But now it's falling because of rhetoric from Pupavosian and JP Morgan, etc., etc. I hope you guys found this video informational. If you did so, guys, please, again, don't forget to hit that thumbs up and share this all over your social media. If you haven't yet subscribed, you might want to think about doing so, because in this channel, we have that warrior mindset where we wake up the middle class, we get a piece of the pie, we get rich, or we die trying.